Hey guys, Mr. Marcus here, and as you can see, we are in the finale of the Southampton Master League Season 1. Will we win the title in this episode? Well, you'll find out. Basically, at the end of the last episode, we finished 8 points clear of Manchester United with 3 games left in the Barclays Premier League. Now, in this particular episode, we have 4 games for you instead of the usual 3, because of the fact you have the FA Cup final as well. And we have the games are against Arsenal, Newcastle United, and Aston Villa. We only have to win one of those games and hope that Manchester United don't win all their games. And if we get beat in 3 games and they win all their games, then they will end up winning the title and we will finish second. And personally for me, I'd like to win the title in our first season because it allows me to sort of expand and sort of be like, well, we would buy this player because they've just won the title. But of course, what am I going to know? So basically with this logic, we go up in the game against Arsenal knowing that if we end up winning the match or drawing the match, and Man United are losing or drawing, then we'd end up winning the title. So sort of went into this match with sort of confidence of, okay, we're going to end up winning this game. Let's go and win this game for not just me, but win the game in general because we can. So in the first minutes of the match here, as Piliqueta on the ball, waiting for someone to make a run, eventually Pella does make the run, gives the ball straight through to Jay Rodriguez. Jay Rodriguez tries to get the ball back to Tadic, and fortunately for Arsenal, someone's in the way to stop me and stop them from getting forward. So literally about in the 20th minute of the match here, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain on the ball, plays a nice ball through to Graziano Pella, who pushes Mikel Arteta off the ball and pings it into the back of the net to give us the 1-0 lead in the 20th minute, and basically potentially cement us into the league winners. Now of course we'd want to win the league. Winning the league would be absolutely great, but it's not really my priority. My priority was always Champions League football, but if we end up winning the league, it's always just an added benefit. But in the 25th minute here, about 5 minutes after we'd scored, Tadic plays an absolutely great ball through to Jay Rodriguez. Look at that for a first touch, and he himself pops in the back of the net to be the other prized asset goal scorer for Southampton. Of course, both him and Graziano Pella have both scored about 50 goals between them. That's how ridiculously good they are. But into the 31st minute of the match here, Mesut Ozil's a little bit of skills to try and get a shot away. Eventually does get the shot away, and fortunately for me, it is saved by Fraser Forster. But from that particular from the particular save, comes all the way to Tadic, giving the ball to, I think it was, I don't really know who, but anyway, it doesn't matter because it comes to Jay Rodriguez, who gives it to Graziano Pella, who ends up this time actually hitting it wide, maybe the first time like ever, because Graziano Pella usually always hits the target. But coming up to the last minutes of the first half here, is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain once again still dominating the hell out of the left backs, as he usually does, and we're winning 2-0 at half time in the Premier League match against Arsenal. Now, unless we have a total collapse in the second half, I think we're probably going to end up winning the title here. So as you can see there at the half-time stats, they've dominated on possession, dominated pass completion, but it's all about scoring those goals, and that's what we've done. So coming into the second half and the 49th minute here, as we see us running on the ball, Jack Cork sort of putting some sort of pressure on the centre backs of Arsenal, we sort of eventually get the ball back from Schneiderlin, who ends up playing the ball through to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, because Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is always open for anything, crosses it in for Tadic to go up for a header, and it's a really good save from Wojciech Szczesny. Is it kicking the ball straight out to Mesut Ozil. Ozil tries to get away from Piliqueta again. He just gives the ball away really cheaply as I go on the attack once again. Of course, I don't really care too much about scoring more goals, but more about just defending and basically winning a game like this. So in literally about the 54th minute, a nice little try to get a cross-in ball there to, I think it was Jack Cork, get a shot away with Morgan Schneiderlin, and yeah, it's another save. So Arsenal had not even come forward yet in the 54th minute or 56th minute of the match, and it comes up to the last minutes of the match as we see here Arsenal just passing the ball about, not really getting forward, good defending from myself and sort of good pressing down. Eventually Debussy tries to get away from Alderweireld, who just gives it back to Fraser Forster again. I didn't really care too much about scoring more goals, it was more about just keeping possession and trying to get forward. As we see here, Graziano Pella can't get to the ball, but comes out to Morgan Schneiderlin, and then eventually Graziano Pella does get it. Nice little 1-2 between him and Tadic. Tadic just waits, does some stupid skill for some reason, but it doesn't matter because we've won the game. The crowd have gone absolutely mental because we have officially won the title. Everyone is celebrating, as we see here. It's the same goddamn celebrations from PES 2014, goddamn Konami, come on, add in some more presentations. Means there are some new players like moving their bodies in certain different ways, but we don't, unfortunately there's no lifting of the title. It's really frustrating that they have a league title but they don't for every reason want you to lift it. I mean, I think they probably should add that in soon. I mean, come on. I mean, I know in other leagues, in the licensed leagues, that you lift the title, but in this one, for every reason, because it's an unlicensed league, there's no lifting of the title. It's just frustrating. But anyway, won the league title. We're Barclays Premier League winners. What the hell? How can we win the league title? But now that means we can go on and strengthen the team properly, buy properly good rated players, which don't make it unrealistic, because of course we're the Barclays Premier League holders. So with that logic, we won the title against Arsenal. Jose Font actually got man of the match, which is quite interesting. And in the other games, Crystal Palace got beat. Man United, of course, beat Swansea 4-0 as expected. But of course, with that logic, we just see the title. This one more time, as you see there. We were 8 points clear at the end. We still have 2 more games left in the actual season against Newcastle and Aston Villa, like I said at the start of this episode. But by this time, I didn't really care. I put Gazaniga in goal. I was testing out a lot of the players because, of course, we have the game against Manchester City coming up in the game after this game against Newcastle, which is quite a good game. Of course, it's the FA Cup final, so that's always a big thing as well. But Jack Court coming in, I played Schneiderlin and I put Schneiderlin on the bench, and I was resting a lot of my players, and it was good because it allowed me to sort of experiment. The only player who actually started the match was Jay Rodriguez. Was the only player from my first team who properly starts nearly every single game. Could potentially maybe put Gardos in that thing as well, but I decided no, I'll just play Jay Rodriguez, my prized asset. Probably I didn't really care about scoring too many goals against Newcastle because of course we've already cemented the league title. So going into this game against Newcastle, I didn't care. I just wanted to get through this game as quickly as possible, get to the next game, go into the FA Cup final, all maybe high on confidence, and then maybe score some goals in the FA Cup final, potentially win it, get a double, end the season, boom, there you go. But of course, Newcastle not particularly the best team in the game. It was as you'd expect, really. I mean, this game was a bore fest. The rest of the games in the league are bore fests because, I didn't care because I've already won it. So, I mean, I'm sort of just telling you this now. Nothing really happens this game in particular. The highlights aren't particularly even that long either. As you see here, Gardos here gets a shot away. It's a good save from Tim Krul in goal for Newcastle. And that was really about it at the first half. I mean, nothing else really happened. I mean, they tried to get forward and we were just defending adequately as we usually do defend, and that was it. I mean, we tried our best, and we didn't try our best because we didn't have to try our best because we've already won the league. So yeah, with that logic going behind in my head when I played this, I was like, I don't care about going forward and scoring goals. I just care about making sure no one gets injured, because I mean, I've never really seen someone even get injured in this game, but no one gets injured, and everyone who has to play in the final game, so likes of Jay Rodriguez, I will eventually substitute him out and all that sort of stuff. So I mean, as you see here, this is coming into the last minutes of the first half. Shane Long eventually does get a shot away, and it doesn't really do anything. James Ward-Prowse's shot is actually hit wide, as well as a 0-0 at half time. So I mean, it was the sort of game you expect, and this goddamn episode is so long. You know how hard it is talking for 12 minutes is difficult. Talking for 14 minutes is really hard. Talking for half an hour is very, very difficult. It's not even half an hour, it's 20 minutes. But 20 odd minutes long. But I mean, as you see here, Newcastle's first opportunity, Newcastle's basically first opportunity came from that happening, and then nothing happened. I'm telling you this now. Coming up all the way to the 78th minute of the match here, as Fraser Forster comes flying out of his goal, he kicks it away. It goes fortunately all the way for me right down to Shane Long's foot. Nice little bit of first touch control. Plays a nice ball through to James Ward-Prowse, who he ends up hitting it down for himself, and eventually comes out to Jay Rodriguez, who passes it back to Shane Long, crosses it in for Simon Davis to header it to absolutely no one. But he ends up getting it back because Simon Davis is an absolute animal, even though with no goddamn stamina, he crosses it back in for himself. Eventually another opportunity comes our way. Eventually Gardos cannot get to it and cannot do anything with it, as it comes out to, again, another long ball forward. Fraser Forster again comes flying out again, kicks it as usual, and this time it doesn't go anywhere. But I mean, this game, it was, like I said, it was a bore fest. Nothing happened because it was as you'd expect. I didn't care too much about winning the game. Jay Rodriguez did actually did actually get some form of rest in the end after I brought in Sam Gallagher, and that was it. 0-0, as expected. As I said, it was not the most entertaining match. But as we go into the next match against Manchester City, of course I played my strongest team as possible, and the game of course is the FA Cup final. Mike Williamson was man of the match in the Newcastle game, for anyone who even cares. So into the FA Cup final at the Royal London Stadium. I actually noticed that they don't have Wembley in this game anymore, which is really weird because Wembley is considered quite a prestigious stadium, and because England aren't actually bloody thinged in this either. And again, I haven't fixed the Man City kits, but I'll fix them as soon as I possibly can. I mean, it doesn't take long, it's just changing one of the numbers for their collar. It's just wrong, it's just the collar which is wrong. But this was a really weird game because they start playing God Save the Queen, and I was like, I've never heard that in the FA Cup. Well, I don't know, does it happen at the FA Cup final? I think it does happen at the FA Cup final, but I don't know if I can actually keep this in here. So you'll either hear it or you won't hear it. I mean, I have to think about that because I don't know if it's probably not a licensed song, but I mean, I was really pissed off when I heard this because I was playing it and I was like, what? Why the hell is it playing God Save the Queen? So yes, I know it's an English FA Cup, it's a football association in England, but really? Like, I was like, as a Scotsman, I'm not happy with that. So, of course, if you can hear it, then it's because I kept it in and I didn't get a copyright notice, but if you can't hear it, it's because I got a copyright notice and I had to delete the video and then re-upload it. So either way, it doesn't really matter because it goes on to show the teams, which is all you really care about. So the likes of Sergio Aguero and Mario Mandzukic. Is it Mario Mandzukic? Mandzukic up front. Anyway, Mandzukic up front, as you see there's the Manchester City team, likes of Vincent Kompany, Mangala, once again giving him and his goddamn love of passing the ball straight to me and giving wayward passes. He's just absolutely such a great guy. But anyway, we're now into like the 12th minute of this episode. My god, we still have 2 more games left. Jesus Christ. Anyway, as you see here, it's my strongest team possible. Other than, of course, Azpilicueta not playing at left back, which I couldn't play because he got a red card in the game against Tottenham in the semi-finals. I was playing Bertrand, Wanyama, Schneiderlin, Pella, Graziano Pella. They said Pella twice. Oxlade-Chamberlain and Jay Rodriguez and Tadic and Schneiderlin and Klein and Alderweireld. Like, I was playing the strongest team I could have possibly have played against Manchester City, and of course they'll be looking out for some form of revenge considering that they have been beaten twice by me this season already. It's coming up to the 24th minute of the match here as Aguero on the ball, tries to get a ball, eventually through to Mario Mandzukic. For whatever reason, Wanyama does not go towards the ball. Mandzukic plays it through to Sergio Aguero, and Aguero just pops it past Fraser Forster for Manchester City to take the lead in the 25th minute of the match. Now, I was pissed off, but I wasn't too pissed off. Again, as I've said for every single episode which has featured the FA Cup, I don't care too much about winning the FA Cup. I care more about just doing well in general. But as you see there, Tadic steals the ball from Mangala after a really poor first touch from the centre back, and he just pings it past Joe Hart. Yeah. Don't know what's going wrong. Don't know what's wrong with Mangala's AI, but for whatever reason he does like to give the ball away quite a lot. So into the 40th minute of the match here, Wanyama, as Morgan Stanley gave the ball away, I go flying out with a tackle on Sergio Aguero from Gardos, and guess what the referee does? He gives me a straight red card. Now I was really pissed off here because I was like, that's never a red card challenge. It's a bad challenge. I won't go against that, but a red card, no. And from the free kick, nothing happens because I've never seen someone score a free kick against me with the computer anyway. But here, as you see here, Alderweireld does a really good job of defending from it's Mario Mandzukic, isn't it? Sure, it's Mario Mandzukic. Even if it's not, I'm just going to continue calling him Mario Mandzukic because I'm not going to check. But as you see here at half-time, it's 1-1 between the teams, but again, we're down to 10 men. You have to make some changes at the back and all that sort of stuff, which was just frustrating like hell. And they, of course, have been dominating us. They had 4 shots, 1 on target. We've had 1 shot, 1 on target. Basically, the 2 shots which have been on target have both been goals, which is quite bad, really. But eventually, I think for this particular game, I moved Wanyama to centre-back because he's rated like 75 or 76 at centre-back, which isn't too bad. I can sort of play with players at centre-back, and I think I didn't do anything else. I think Jay Rodriguez ended up just playing a little bit more in terms of defensive-wise down his left-hand side. But in the 55th minute of the match here, as Jay Rodriguez eventually does actually get through on goal here, I probably should have scored this goal. For whatever reason, I tried to chip the goalkeeper. It hits off the post, Pella somehow doesn't score straight into an empty net. I don't know why he decided to hit it towards Joe Hart, but for whatever reason, it comes out here, and eventually here again Pella gets through on goal, and this time hits it over the bar, and it was just all going to hell for Pella. And this time Vincent Kompany does not stop him, and Pella this time pings it into the roof of the net for him to score his goal and give us basically a shock lead in the FA Cup final against Manchester City. And we advance all the way to the final 2 minutes of the match here. Shane Long on the ball, crosses it in, or tries to cross it in anyway, doesn't get anywhere with it, but I was actually correct, I did put Wanyama at centre back, and Virgin has a crazy shot in the last minutes of the match, just basically to advance the time forward, so that by the time they take the goal kick, that will be that. So goal kick taken, play forward, and that was it. The referee blows the final whistle, and we won the FA Cup as well. So we have a double in our first season at Southampton. Will we get that double next season? Probably not. Will we get a Champions League winners medal next season? Probably not. Will we even win the Premier League? Probably not. Will we get another Champions League spot? Probably not, because it's weird. The second season is always hardest for me in a Master League. For whatever reason, I always hate playing the second season. But again, no goddamn trophy. Why is there no trophy? I don't know. I still don't know. Some form of music is playing in the background, which I don't know if you can. I don't know if I'll probably keep it in, because I'll just keep majority of it in. And then if anything gets copyright picks up, then I'll just delete like that segment of the video, and some parts of it might not make sense, or just take out the audio in general. I don't know. But Tadic got man of the match with 7.0 rating. As you see, they were the domestic cup winners with a 2-1 win against Manchester City. And it was just great. We beat Man City in the final, and you also see who was like the best players in the FA Cup. Of course, a moment of glory as we claim the FA Cup crown. Great. But as you see here, I was named the FA Cup's best manager, which is quite good, and individual honours list as well. But Graziano Pella was the player of the tournament. Top goal scorer was actually Sergio Aguero, and the assist leader was Yaya Toure, the man mountain himself. So me being the best manager, of course, is also something quite special. I do like that sort of stuff. And the team of the tournament had the likes of Aguero, Toure, Angel Di Maria, Denisov, Vlad Chiriches, Nathaniel Klein, and Graziano Pella were the 3 players from Southampton to be in the team. I think the goalkeeper was from Derby County, which is just weird, considering that you wouldn't really think of that as the goalkeeper. But going into the last game of the season, and the last game of this series, season 1, because there'll be a season 2 where I'm still going to be at Southampton. I think if I get any job offers, I'm gonna reject them all, because I'm gonna stay at Man City at Southampton for another season. But then if I end up getting in quite far in the Champions League the second season, and maybe the third season actually winning it, then I'll move to a completely different league, and then maybe come back to it like later on in terms of the Premier League, maybe play like Arsenal or something, because considering I'm an Arsenal fan. So going to the last game of the season, it was against Aston Villa. I was giving some players some opportunities because, as you'd expect, I didn't really care about winning this match. I've already won the title quite comfortably. We've won the FA Cup. We're sitting there just thinking, well, we've won. We've done everything we wanted to do, and that was it. So Luke Shaw actually played left midfield in this match. James Ward-Prowse played attacking midfield. Chamberlain was playing right midfield, and Graziano Pella, of course, up front as expected. And as Piliqueta came back into the starting lineup at left back, considering that he wasn't allowed to play in the FA Cup final because of his red card. And Aston Villa, of course, their best player, likes of Agbonlahor and Benteke up front. As expected, you had Sanchez in midfield, as well as Ashley Westwood and Kieran Clark at the back. And I think that is Ali Sissoko. I'm not sure. But, of course, playing likes of Luke Shaw. I was playing Luke Shaw at left back, at left mid, because I was just resting out some players. I mean, I didn't really care about playing Jay Rodriguez anymore and all that sort of stuff. By the end of this episode, I do show you who was the team of the tournament, the team of the season, and who got the top goal scorer and top assist and player of the season and all sort of stuff like that. Becoming the 20th minute of the match here, Gardos eventually steals the ball off Agbonlahor, gives it to Pella. Pella runs past a couple of players, gives it to James Ward-Prowse. Throw on goal. James Ward-Prowse, a nice shot. It's a good save from Brad Guzan. From the resulting corner kick, absolutely nothing came to it. And about 10 minutes later, James Ward-Prowse skinning past players all over the place, gives it to Graziano Pella, and he's done what he's done all goddamn season and pops in the back of the net. If he is not the man of the league, if he's not the league's best player, I don't know who is, because I mean, he has scored I don't know how many goals this season. Going into the 41st minute here, as Pella on the ball gives it back to James Ward-Prowse after he's done a nice little bit of skilled roulette, around one of the players. Unfortunately for me, Pella didn't actually get the ball back. There go sliding out of a tackle from Wanyama on Sanchez, which is just such a ridiculous player, Wanyama. I just love him so much. But it literally comes up to the halfway mark. A nice shot from as Piliqueta goes out for a corner kick, which nothing comes to it, and the referee blows for half time. So 1-0 half time, Southampton, Aston Villa. It's what you expect, really. I didn't really care about winning the match, like I've already said several times before. It's just about getting this season done with and starting the second season up and running. So of course, as you see there, the half-time stats, it was 0-0 and all that sort of stuff, and we just, like, I was sort of just messing about here. In the 68th minute here, if Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain on the ball, runs past a couple of players, gets a shot away, it's another good save from Brad Guzan, goes it for a corner kick, and from the resulting corner kick, nothing came to anything. But coming up into the last minutes of the match here, is Pell on the ball had actually brought on Jay Rodriguez. He gets another shot away, and this time it's just wide, instead of adding to his goal tally of ridiculousness amount of goals. And again, there's no goddamn trophy for me to lift. Where's the trophy, man? Where's the trophy, Konami? Put it in. I mean, Jesus Christ. But anyway, you see everyone clapping hands, shaking hands and doing all that sort of stuff as they did at the end of the last season, clapping the fans and all that sort of stuff, because, well, it's the final game of the season. But this time we've actually won the league, which is weird because we're Southampton, we shouldn't be winning the league, but what am I going to complain about? Really, the only reason we won the league, in my personal opinion, was because of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I'm going to try my hardest to try and buy him. If I'm not going to pay more than about 20 million for him. Like, that's really about it. If they want more than 20 million, I'm not going to even bother attempting to buy him. So Gardos was man of the match, as you'd expect, and here is the final table of the Barclays Premier League for the final fixture. So we got 94 points, Man United got 86, Chelsea 77, and Liverpool got to the top 4 with a 74 points. Moment of glory, we claimed the Barclays Premier League crown, as expected, and player of the season, Graziano Pella. Top goal scorer, Graziano Pella, and Steven Nzonzi, for some reason, was the assist leader, and I got the best manager. Woo! Best manager. So, with that logic, team of the tournament, Pella, Van Persie, Tadic, Ramsey, Toure, Gerrard, Luiz, Gardos, Alderweireld, Klein, and Hugo Lloris. So, yeah, we won the title in the end. At the end, we won the title in the FA Cup in the last episode. Woo! And it's like 24 minutes long. Or 23 minutes long. Anyway. Yeah, Season 2 will be coming out soon. It'll probably start relatively quite soon as well. And yeah, so if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.